Good afternoon, hello. My name is Daniel. This is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. I'm not really ready to talk about what I'm going to talk about in today's video, but because of the nature in which I create these videos and post these videos, I have to, because I cannot hide this, and it gets worse than that. First though, because I'm going to need my breath to talk about this, I'm going to get this run done, and I'll see you at the end. I'm going to tell you what the hell's going on. 5 miles to top out first though. Let's go. Okay, run done and dusted. I leave the stats on screen. Felt pretty good, to be honest, just super fresh. So I've had 2 full rest days and I do feel slightly ill, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I meant what I said. I am in no way prepared enough to have this conversation. I've got no script, not really thought it through my head, but I document what I'm doing, right? I document what happens in my life, training, racing life, etc. Now, please, when I want to talk about this, please don't feel too sorry for me. I'm very grateful when people think of me and are concerned for me, but I'm very aware this is a first world problem. I have a great life. I've just had a few little speed bumps of late. So at the end of last week and last weekend, I was very lucky to go on the Hot Chili London to Paris bike ride with the Hoop team. We rode 300 miles over 3 days. Brilliant event, brilliant experience. I was using it as a really good little block of bike training, and that was what it was. On the last day, we were rolling into the last feed station of the whole thing, after which we were just rolling down into Paris, about 30 kilometers as one big group, really chilled out. So I was just pulling into the feed station, job done, not quite concentrating fully. Went to ride up a small curb and went over the front of the handlebars of my bike. I haven't fallen off very much on my bike in the last couple of years, thankfully, but this was quite a big one for me. So I went over the bars and I landed on my hands. As you do, you put your hands out to stop yourself falling, don't you? Now, there were people there, the medics were great, etc. I was really looked after, but I had taken an impact on my hands and wrists. Now, those who've watched this channel early this year will know that I did have a wrist problem for 2 or 3 months, and I've just sorted it. It was a tendon issue, but we thought it was a scaphoid fracture initially. Now, it was bad, like quite bad. I couldn't really hold the bars. I took painkillers. I did what I could in order to ride those last 30 Ks, which I did, but it was bad. Overnight, didn't get any better. The day after, we were coming back home, so I didn't want to go to like a French hospital and stay all, wait all night in an A&E or whatever. I thought, well, in like 16 hours time, I'm going to be home, so I can just get home and go to my local A&E here. So when I got home, Liz kindly took me directly to A&E. I didn't even go home, and I had x-rays on both wrists. Now, the person at A&E, the doctor, I'm assuming, said there aren't any fractures present. However, if they are fractures in the wrist area, scaphoid, etc., he wouldn't expect to see them so early. It would take a couple of weeks to develop, and sometimes they often just see that it's starting to repair. Now, as the swelling has gone down, I've been able to pinpoint the location of the pain a bit more. When I went to A&E, it was all very tender, so wherever he touched it hurt, and it was just probably a bit too early. Of course, you want to go and get an answer, don't you? On my left hand, it's pretty much on the outside of my hand, like there. And on my right one, it's in my wrist. It feels very much like there. So I have 2 wrist braces on. Now, the standard procedure for injuries of this kind, even without seeing a fracture, are to put on like a half cast or a temporary cast, which is what I had last time. But thankfully, the guy understood that that would have quite a severe impact on my life, not being able to use like both hands at all or much. So it gave me these wrist splints. I do have plenty of left wrist splints, but the right one is a new one to me, so I do need to get some more of the right ones. How's it been since then? Okay, a little bit better each day, but I'm now about 4 days on, but not a huge amount. It is still definitely like I really struggle, like unlocking the door and picking things up. It's obvious it's not just bruising, so I'm actually quite confident there's some sort of fracture there somewhere, but I don't have that fact to hand. So what's happening next? Well, this is what I'm trying to break down in my mind. How do I process this? I'd mapped out the rest of this year. I've got some events planned in, got some really cool things planned in, a couple of like big partnership projects for me. I was so excited to announce them. At the minute, I've not completely written them off, because until I get that diagnosis, I'm just going to keep training as I can and just try and focus on the positive stuff. So the week after next, I should go back to the fracture clinic and have a further x-ray, and that's the point where I'll know exactly what is going off, and that will give me some real facts to be able to make decisions about the rest of the season. The things that I've already mapped out are that I'll still go to the Holcombe Half Outlaw weekend. If you're going there, I will be there. I plan to do the gravel sprint and the aqua bike. I don't know whether I'll be able to do any of that, but I've already booked the accommodation. I can't get a refund on it. I've already booked in camera guy Chris, so like I might as well go. Lee's going to do the gravel sprint. It was supposed to be our head-to-head, and I'll figure out what to do at the aquabike video-wise on Sunday. I'm sure I'll sort something out. And further than that, I'm just not making any decisions just yet. I did have, to be completely honest, an Ironman planned in for 10, 11 weeks time. The entry is in, but I have not booked flights or accommodation yet. I was planning to do that this week. Obviously, I'm holding off on that. And if I think about it properly and logically, it's unlikely that I'll be able to go and do that. I needed a clear run-up of training now, and this really isn't good. Doesn't feel like it'll be better in a couple of days. So I don't mind going and doing an event when I'm not super fit. That's the situation I've been in for most of this year. But I don't want to like make the choice to spend loads of money on a trip and event that I know I'm not gonna like be happy with the performance of, or even be able to get around and enjoy the experience. That's more important to me. So I will play it by ear, and if this makes a recovery in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I will give it some real thought, but I just don't think that's going to happen. But I do have some plans for later this year, but as you can imagine, it's all just up in the air. So thanks for listening. I hope your training is going well and life's going well, or better than mine. I'll give you an update as to what's happening in a week and a half, 2 weeks when I get back to the fracture clinic. I've got lots of stuff to focus on in the meantime. I'm super busy at work. I've got the world record longest distance triathlon content to work on. There'll be plenty of that stuff coming out over the next week or two, and then the event weekend itself. What else am I working on at the minute? Just loads of stuff, working on the content from London to Paris, everything. I'm trying to keep myself busy, focus on stuff, keep busy, and just hopefully that date will roll around. I'll get another x-ray and find out exactly what is happening. But that is it. That is the end of today's video. Maybe I should not script any video in future, but let me know if you've got any questions down below, so I'm sure I've missed something. Thanks for the support. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for, I normally say some sort of triathlon training. I'm going to keep saying that. Some sort of triathlon training. See you later.